Do it this way. I have some pineapple. Oh, I didn't hit go live. Oops. It's funny. Hi. Hi. Oh. Hello, everyone. I literally, every time I go live, I turn up the volume on my laptop as if I'm expecting to hear you guys speak to me. Every time, never fails. Never fails. And I'm just like, oh, because I'm always thinking this is like a Zoom call. Probably because I'm always doing this after work, but. Hi. I have not watched any. Well, no, actually, I haven't seen any bloopers since. I know that would be so fun if we'd be able to like actually like, yeah, like. Nicole. I'm hoping I'm not like crunching in anyone's ear right now. Mm-mm-mm. I have not. I'm eating pineapple covered in granola, which is like my go-to snack. It's so good. Delicioso. I can finally look at TikTok comments now because I don't have to worry about spoilers. I don't have to worry about any spoilers. Am I over the heartbreak? Okay, guys, listen. Hey, Antonia. So here's the thing. After thinking about it a bit more, I think so. Even though the ending, episode 20, and spoiler for anyone who's watching the show for the first time, because I know a lot of people who follow me are watching the show for the first time. They're like on, I've seen people say they're on season 7, 9, 5. Like, so if you're not done with the show, do not watch this. I'm just putting that spoiler up now. Putting that spoiler warning up now. The ending, season 15, episode 20. Dean dying is so fucking heartbreaking. But I feel like, knowing myself, I'm going to want to be I'm going to want to be able to see that scene between Sam and Dean again, where Dean is literally dying. And hey, Jess. Hey everyone. I'm gonna want to see, yeah, like he should have lived. Like, I'm gonna want to see that, the like speech between him and Sam. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. But I'm going to need to see it again. Like, it was like, I can literally, the scene of Sam and Dean like leaning each other's foreheads against each other. That shit is heartbreaking. Like, literally, one of my coworkers asked me, "Oh, you finally finished Supernatural. How was it?" I was like, "I don't want to talk about it. I deadass don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it." No. Why did he want it filmed standing up? Because of that? Like, was it like like no, and I get that. I literally cried in bed. Like, every time I thought about it, I kept thinking of this, of Dean saying, "Wait, Sam, don't leave me." That was when it really just shifted. Like, oh, like they did that shit in one take. Oh, I know they were sobbing. I know they were sobbing. Like, I do remember, you know what's crazy? For me to have seen so much supernatural stuff, I didn't see a single thing over the years of Dean dying. So y'all really blocked that episode out. Like when y'all say episode 19 is the end, y'all mean that, because I never really saw anything about the end either. I thought the scene of Castiel, which I realized the little edit I saw, the picture I saw was completely different from what actually happened in the show. I thought he was on fire, like in the picture I saw. So I so that was different, but I thought that was the last episode. Like, Aaliyah. I hope I'm saying your name right, friend. Yes. They said when Sam said, "I don't want to do this without you," Dean says that to Sam in episode 1. Someone tagged me in an edit. Broke my heart. And that's one of the reasons why that scene was done so well. I know I'm going to want to watch it again. Like, as heartbreaking as it was, I'm going to want to watch it again. Like, I feel like, and I totally get that, Scooter. Like, Dean had an application to be a firefighter on his desk. I missed that. Oh my gosh. One thing that did piss me off is that Sam didn't end up with Eileen. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that not one bit. Sam and Eileen, they could have let Sam and Eileen be together. There was no reason to not have them end up together. And you know what? I get for COVID, maybe they couldn't have all the actors. All they would have had to do is have the son sign something and be like, "Oh, mom's in the kitchen." Just sign that mom is in the kitchen. And we would have known. We would have known. I would have been like, "We finally have Sam and Eileen." Like, like, yeah, that wig was crazy. Oh, the writers confirmed it was her? Good. Because Sam deserved that. And I honestly can't picture Sam marrying anyone who did not know who Dean was. I can't picture him doing that. Especially knowing he named his son Dean. I can't picture him marrying anyone who did not, one, didn't know about being a hunter, and two, didn't know who his brother was. Like, I cannot picture that. I can't. As rough as that ending was, surprisingly, and I think this gives it the rank as the best CW show, it did not ruin the show for me. Like, I have seen Vampire Diaries. I've seen Vampire Diaries. Vervain, Stefan. Yeah, I've seen Vampire Diaries. Yeah. Vervain, Stefan. I have seen the originals too. Um, What are you trying to get under the couch? 1 second, y'all. What you want? What's under here, friend? I literally don't see it. Where's my phone so I can use the flashlight? There's nothing under here, but like I desperately need to sweep under here. Jesus. All right, well you don't even care what's under here. You just anyway. Charlie. My favorite from Vampire Diaries is Elijah and Enzo. But I did want Bonnie and Damon. Bonnie deserved better than Damon, but Damon deserved Bonnie, if that makes sense. Like, for Bonnie's sake, she deserved better than Damon, without a doubt. Like, Enzo was like her match. But Damon and Bonnie, there's just certain je ne sais quoi. Like, yeah, and you know what, Ren? Yes, they made it easy for us to overlook the ending. I think so. I've said this before. I may have said it when having these lives about Supernatural, but I know I've said it before about other shows. Like the past, like probably like 5-10 years of television that I've noticed is that writers, and not shows that are streamed, like network television shows, writers habitually are not letting the characters that people want together end up together. And I promise I have a point with this. Let me find it. Let me find it. But and they do things to just like piss off fans for the sake of like shock value. Look at like Game of Thrones, The 100, honestly Grey's Anatomy, because the way they wrote off Alex Karev was fucking awful. So I think they just do things for shock value and not for the value of the thank you so much for the gifts. I think they just don't do things for the value of storytelling. They do things for shock value. And I will say, to me anyway, granted, I've only watched it through one time, so my mind may change the more I watch it. But after one watch through of Supernatural, the writers really were in y'all's business, but that episode 19, I think, was like a gift to fans. So that way you guys didn't have to watch episode 20. Like there was an ending that they knew fans could be happy with. Granted, Castiel was not in episode 19, but the ending and the way Cass died, to me, didn't seem like a waste. It didn't seem like a waste. I know a lot of like Destiel fans weren't happy, which is valid. I get that. But I think just like storytelling wise, him sacrificing himself for Dean and for Jack, and that being his true happiness, that made sense to me. Like, I did not go to Harvard, but I know my thoughts. Let me tell you, this is all natural. This is Radford University, baby. But I feel like that it made sense. I think episode 19 is like the fan ending, the ending they wrote for the fans, which is why they have that montage. And then episode 20 is kind of like how is like on brand for Supernatural. Because like Supernatural's a fucked up show. Like it's fucked up. It's twisted. So yeah, like it made sense. Like mm-hmm. I have seen The Boys. When the next season of The Boys comes out, I'll probably do another reaction series. Because that's a show I do not rewatch. I may rewatch it if enough people ask me to, but that show triggers my gag reflex real bad. It's real gross. Like, I would like to know, do I have post-series depression? Yes. But I feel like probably starting next week, I'll be able to restart the show. I do, because I already miss them. I do. I miss seeing them on my screen. Like, I have not seen the Winchesters. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the Winchester. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch anything else in that universe. My fave season, I want to say season. It's so hard for me to pick between season 3 and seasons 10 and 11. Like, those are my 3 favorite seasons. Like, I think season 11 though might be my favorite because I just loved the way Lucifer came back. Like, I loved it. I love the way he came back. And you know what was I think the most shocking thing to me about Supernatural was that so many people were so adamant that the show was not good after season 5. Like, so many people said, I stopped watching after season 5, lost the plot, like, or even maybe they made it to like season 6 or 7. So I was kind of expecting it to be like The Walking Dead. And because I cannot make it past season 8 of The Walking Dead. Like, I have never been able to make it past season 8. Every time I try and watch it, I can't make it past. So I was expecting it to be like, that. Like, I was going to be like dragging along to watch it. And I was like, this shit is good. There was literally only one episode where I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, it felt like a CW show in a derogatory way. And that was the episode with like the Wizard of Oz plot and Charlie like went to like the other world or whatever. Yeah, that was fucking dumb to me. I didn't get that at all. Like, I don't even think the quality dropped off to me. I think season 7 was rough. I wasn't a fan of the Leviathans plot. I wasn't. Um, I think season 6 was good simply because Soulless Sam. It's so good. And seeing Sam and Dean get back into everything. Season 7 was a bit exhausting because I did not like the villains as much. Season 8, I was pissed off at Sam for a good amount, but I loved Sam. To me, that's when Sam's like redemption arc started. Like, yeah, season 8, like the second half of season 8 when he started the trials. Cuz I feel like after season 8, they kind of got on the same page for a bit. But then Dean had Sam possessed by Gadriel. So that lasted like 2 episodes. Like, I could see that. You felt like the seasons were too much their own thing and didn't feel connected. I could see that because to me, seasons 6, 7, 8, and 9 kind of all felt really independent. But 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, those all felt really connected. Because 11, I loved season 11. I remember watching it on the edge of my fucking seat every episode. I was like, what? Lucifer's where? Sam did what? Castiel did what? Like, yeah, that was a good season. Who do I ship Dean with? You know what's so crazy? Therapy. Like, I don't really ship him with anyone. I can see why people ship him with Cass. I think season 15 was definitely the season where I was like, okay, yeah. But there's been so much noise in my apartment building today. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's music. All right. Well, they got till 11 to keep playing that shit. But yeah, no, I ship Dean with therapy. Like, truly a therapist. Like, that man, he needs therapy. He needs about like 4 liters of water, a vegetable, and probably a hug. Yeah. And like no alcohol for like a month. I did like Joe better than Lisa. And it's not that Lisa did anything wrong. I feel like had Lisa been framed like Dean's version of Jessica, like Sam and Jess, if Lisa would have been there in the beginning and Dean had just kept going back to her, which he did, it was just more like off screen. But that how old was Joe? Wasn't she the same age as Sam? Yeah. Early 20s, same age as Sam. Right. I just feel like, and also I think when Lisa and Dean were able to actually be together, it was already tainted by the fact that his brother was dead. Like he was only with her because he made a promise to Sam. That's it. That's it. He wasn't with her because he truly wanted, you know what I mean? Like if my man told me that I'm only with you because my brother wanted me to be happy, not because I make him happy, I'd be like, well, then you can go. You can go. Like the wire fight, that was the second time it felt like a CW show in a derogatory way. That fight, I remember being like, you dead ass. Who was Cassie? I don't remember Cassie. I do remember Cassie. Yeah, I do remember Cassie. Yeah, they would have been cute. But Dean could not be with anyone who was a human and not a hunter. Like, that just wasn't gonna happen. Um, I don't know what show I'm gonna watch next. I will say the next show I watch will not be part. It like will not be the Winchesters. It won't. Like I need a moment before I start something new with them. Like, and I also don't like John and what's her face. Like I don't want to see nothing else about them. Like I know it's before, like it's a prequel. I don't want to see them. Nothing about them. Like yeah. Hannibal. I've heard of Hannibal. I think that's the show about the gay cannibals. Or is that a different show? Is that the show about the gay cannibals? Mm-hmm. Based off your reaction? Oh, you're thinking of that Joe. I was thinking of the other Joe. Um, that's how are they actually gay cannibals? That's how everyone described it on Tumblr. Well, you know what? Honestly, let me stop listening to Tumblr. Because Tumblr had me thinking, oh my god. Tumblr had me thinking Grey's Anatomy, or not Grey's Anatomy, Supernatural, Castiel was a vampire in a trench coat. So maybe I shouldn't use Tumblr as my point of reference. Um, is Hannibal on any streaming services? Cause yeah, Hannibal has been on my like watch list for a while. I forgot about that. God, I can't cut this pineapple in half. Um, Tumblr's the same as always, but like Tumblr, I feel like Tumblr is like the roach of social media sites. Like it quite literally will never die. It won't. And I'll be right there with it. I'll be right there with it. You could never take me away from Tumblr. Could never. Like, okay, it's on Prime. Um, I've only seen up to season 8 of The Walking Dead. I have not seen Fire Country. Is Fire Country the one with Bella's dad from Twilight? Or is that a different firefighter show? I have not seen Charmed. My mom loved Charmed though. Okay. I have not looked up supernatural stuff on Tumblr. Oh my god, I'm slacking. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. Let's see. Let's just do a quick. What are you sniffing? Like, let's see. Let's just see the first thing that pops up when I search supernatural on Tumblr. It's like supernatural. Oops, spelled that wrong. Okay. 316 recent posts. Glad to know the fandom's still alive and well on Tumblr. Okay, let's go to latest. It's a picture of Sam, and it says, it's a picture of Sam, and it says, I could be so much worse. For example, I could start acting like my father. That's fucking funny. Like, oh, I've already seen them. I've already seen the Sam and Dean stuff. I've already seen it. Like, Ellery, I have been tempted to do some movie lives. I was gonna ask people for recommendations, like, because I have to watch Star Wars. Like, I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I'm not excited to watch Star Wars. I've tried watching it before, but so many of my coworkers are like, "You'll like it," like, so. If the show ended at season 5, I would have been pissed. Yeah. Maybe. Like, I'm gonna watch it, but it's just like, I'm not a sci-fi girly. I have not seen Severance. I heard it was really good though. Like, right? So many people love Star Wars. Like, I'm a Marvel girly. So, yeah, like that's about as sci-fi as I get is Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I got to give Charlie his medicine. Oh, no, I don't. I have to give it to him at 8:30. It scared me. You want to come up here? Come on. All right, or not. Whatever. Do you? Do I like fantasy? It's a hit or miss with me in fantasy. You're going to start the 100? I am wishing you so much luck, babes. I am. May the odds be ever in your favor. You're going to see some great stuff, phenomenal stuff. Like, I haven't seen Sam in The Boys. That's the only reason why I'd be tempted to rewatch The Boys to see if I recognize the characters from Supernatural. Because I watched The Boys like as it was coming out, so like years before I watched Supernatural. The 100 was so good. It took me a minute to get into it because I remember the first time I watched it, like it was still airing, and I tried starting it from the beginning. I was like, and then I restarted it like a year or two later, and I was like, this shit is good. Like, okay, Sam's in the next season. Like, the only people I remember in The Boys is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the guy from Lord of the Rings, Jack Quaid, um, and Jensen. I tried watching The Magicians and I could not get into it. And I totally understand that, Ren. The Boys is very, very like nauseating. Like it's a rough one. That's not an easy watch. Like I have not seen Sons of Anarchy. I've seen like bits and pieces of it, but I haven't seen it all the way through. I did hear Jensen's getting a spinoff with Soldier Boy. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not oh yeah, Jensen was on an episode of Gen V too. I'm not a fan of the Boys universe as much as I thought I would be. Like it's not, I think just because the show is so gross. Like I got to be like in a mindset to watch it. When you say some of the episodes are different, what do you mean? I have not. Are you making that noise or Charlie, don't play with me. I'm just going to pick you up cuz like I don't know. Let's just sit over here, friend. Cuz I don't know what's going on with him. Um like Big Sky's the one with Reese Witherspoon. I have not seen Vikings. That's the one on Netflix, right? They definitely do play up the gross stuff. They definitely do. Oh, that's not the one with Reese Witherspoon. What's the one with Reese Witherspoon? Or maybe it's not Reese Witherspoon I'm thinking of. What's that lady's name? The one with Kerry Washington? Oh, I didn't know that, Ladybug. I didn't know. Oh, I'm thinking Big Little Lies. What's Big Skies then? Oh, it's a crime thing. Okay. Like, okay. I will say whatever show I start has to be completed. Unless no, I'm gonna say it has to be completed. Like, because I can't start any shows that are like airing. I can't. I have seen Lucifer's a DC show. Is it really? Ah, based on the Sandman character Lucifer. Uh, it was written by Neil Gaiman. Oh my god, is that the same guy who just got exposed for being like fucking evil? Um, got it. I have seen a good chunk of Lucifer. Like I don't know like the full overarching story, but like I've seen a lot of it because the girl who used to do my hair used to always play it. So I've seen a lot of it. Am I worried about the TikTok ban? I mean, yeah, but it's also like I can't do anything about it. So like I try not to stress out about things I can't control. Um I have tried to watch Outlander, and here's the thing, y'all. I really want to watch it. I do. I just don't understand what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying. I tried subtitles. I don't know what they're saying. I know they're speaking English, but the accents are so thick. I I don't know what they're saying. And the subtitles, it didn't help because it also didn't perfectly align. So I was like, how is the show in English and the subtitles are English and they're not word for word? Like, I don't know if Outlander's finished. I don't know what episode I got to. I think I may have got to like episode. Now, Lost, I think I made it to like episode 6 of the first season back in college. And it gave me a really weird dream. So I turned it off. Like I never went back to it. Because there was like a polar bear on the island, right? There was like a polar bear. And I just remember the polar bear like, oh shit. Okay, I won't spoil it. My fault. It gave me a weird dream though. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm not watching this. Okay. I feel like the thing is I don't even know what I'm in the mood for. Like Supernatural really gave me like a hangover. It really gave me a hangover, to be honest. Like I have not seen Midnight Mass. Suits, I think I made it to like the 3rd or 4th season and I was just like, I don't care. I tried to force myself to like that show so bad. There wasn't enough action for me. Like, wasn't enough violence because it's lawyers. But I'm like, I need someone to get shot every now and then. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good show. It's just not for me. But Meghan Markle and Gina Torres' outfits, 10 out of 10. Like, okay, I've never heard of Midnight Mass. What's that about? Oh my gosh, Ren. Oh, I really think if I would have saw the Supernatural finale while I was like in the hospital, they like if I would have watched that while I was having my treatment done, they would have been like, turn that shit off. Like you're about to have a stroke. So yeah, I can imagine. I have seen Vampire Diaries. Oh, is it a scary show? Is Midnight Mass scary? Someone said like Haunting of Hill House. Y'all, I'm not a spooky person. I'm not a spooky person because if I start watching something spooky, I quite literally there's a high risk of me not finishing it. Like and Supernatural had me screaming multiple times out of fear. I was having dreams about that show. Like, okay. Oh, it's CW scary. As long as it's not like Haunting of Hill House scary, because I've seen one clip where the girl pops up in the car while they're driving between the driver and the passenger. I have seen Gossip Girl. Arrow, you know what's crazy? As much as I love comic book um shows and superhero shows and movies, I have not gotten into the Arrowverse. on CW. I've seen The Flash. I think I've seen like 5 or 6 seasons. I know I didn't finish it, but I've seen The Flash. And uh what's it called? I like The Flash. I tried watching Arrow. Um and I just could not get into Arrow. I tried. I have seen Agatha All Along. That was really good. I have not seen Psych, but I heard that was a good one. I have seen Shameless. I love Shameless. That was such a good show. I've never seen Nancy Drew. The mannequin episode of Supernatural was so scary. So scary. I have not seen The Witcher. I heard The Witcher's really good too. I never finished Daredevil and never started Punisher. I've never heard of the Lazarus Project. I have seen the originals. What did I think of Jack as a character? Jack was a little bit of a plot twist for me because the whole time I was like, this little baby's going to come out evil. He's going to be evil. He's going to be an evil Renesmee. That's what I was predicting. And then he popped out. And while he was kind of like Renesmee in sense of aging, he was not evil. He had his little moments. But I was like, okay. And then really what sold me on Jack was one, it was so quickly evident that he was like Castiel. I was like, that is Castiel's son down. No one can say anything else. And then Rowena made the point that he was all of their sons, and I was like, oh, I love Jack. You could never make me hate him. And he took out what's her name, Mary. I was like, yeah, Jack might be my favorite. Um, what's it called? But I did predict Jack's ending. I predicted he was going to be the next god. And the reason I predicted it was because I'm like, he's quite literally the only person on the show right now who's powerful enough to do it, other than Amara. And so I was like, it's going to have to be Jack, or there's just going to be no god, one or the other. Like, oh, happy birthday. So, oh my God. Also, speaking of my Twilight references, when Jack first popped up, I literally predicted, I was like, I posted it on TikTok. I said, if this is anything like the Twilight fan fiction I read like 10, 15 years ago, then he's going to die because Renesmee died. And guess what fucking happened? He fucking died like 2 episodes later. Did he come back to life? Yes. But he died. So I was like, fan fiction never lies. It never lies. Never lies. What did I think of Chuck turning bad? Honestly, from the second I found out Chuck was God, I never thought he was good. Like, I just never thought he was good. Cause I was just like, that's a bit sick. I didn't know he was that evil. But I was like, it's kind of fucked up. You're writing a book about Eden's like, yeah. A character in seasons ranking. Okay, I can try. Okay, so favorite characters. I'll do like 5 of them because Sam and Dean, number 1. They're tied neck and neck. Number 1. Number 2, Rowena. 3, Castiel. 4 is Crowley. 5. I almost want to say Lucifer. Lucifer was such a good villain. He was such a good villain. See, it really depends on like the season, because like I liked Lucifer, but I liked him more in the later seasons. Like, because in the early seasons, Bobby would definitely be before Lucifer. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all. After season 6 and Bobby kept that secret from Dean, he dropped on my list. He did. He dropped very low on my list. Like, it's still rough, friend. It's still rough. Um, I am a Sam girl. I am. I love me some Sam Winchester. I do. I love him so much. That being said, I love Dean just as much. Like, I literally cannot pick between the two of them. Like, oh, rate the characters 1 through 10 on TikTok. Yeah. If TikTok's not banned, sure. um, Charlie's definitely in my top 10. Charlie, Jack, Bobby, definitely in my top 10. Oh, but you know what? Jody is definitely ahead of Jack. She is. She is. I love Jody. Jody and Donna. They might be neck and neck. Jody and Donna, maybe like another Sam and Dean. Like I can't pick one over the other. Um, I was going back and forth. Like the first 5 seasons, I was a Sam girl. I was a Sam girl. I was like, I love him. He gives me Spencer Reed vibes in like the early seasons of Criminal Minds. Like, I was like, I love him. Your Honor, I love him. I love him. And then season 6 happened. And those first 2 or 3 episodes of season 6 were rough. And I was like, everyone is playing in Dean Winchester's face. Playing in Dean Winchester's face. I have to now get involved and defend him. So then I became a Dean girl. And then we found out Sam was soulless. And I was like, okay, cool. Luckily I don't hate Sam anymore. Cause I was like, if there was nothing wrong with Sam in season 6, like if he had a soul and there was nothing wrong, I would have hated him. I would have hated him. But then we found out he just lost his soul. So I was like, okay, cool. But I was still a Dean girl because I was like, their grandpa is still playing in their face right now, playing in Dean's face, and I don't appreciate that. So again, I had to get involved and defend him. Yeah, like I could not let that slide personally. You know what I mean? So and then season 7, I didn't really like season 7. And I other than the Leviathans, I don't know why, but I remember season 7 there was still some stuff going on. Oh, because Cass was keeping a secret and I didn't like the way Cass was treating Dean. And I like Sam and Dean were fine because Sam got his soul back. Sam was going through like his own little like shit in his head mentally, like when isn't he? But Cass was treating Dean a little shady, and I was like, no, I'm not for it. I don't like it. So I'm gonna defend him again. Um, and then season 8, he came back from purgatory, just looking feral. Yeah, but I was like, I got back to my Sam girl roots probably like once the trials started in season 8. Yeah. Once the trials started, I was back to being a Sam girl, and I was a Sam girl. But you know, Dean had his moments. Demon Dean, Mark of Cain Dean. Yeah. Yeah. Sam never looking for Dean. I think that's one of the reasons why they had Sam live at the end and not Dean. If they were going to kill off one of them, I think throughout the whole show, it was evident from season 1, episode 1, that Sam could function without his brother. Sam was the one who could function and live without Dean. Whereas Dean, he has never been able to function without his family. He either had his brother and his dad, when he was taking care of his brother and he had his dad, or he just had his dad, or he had his brother. Like, Dean was like, Dean's codependency, he could not function without a family member. And again, John Winchester, you will pay for your crimes because that's definitely a result of poor parenting. Um, But Sam not looking for Dean was so heartbreaking. And I probably wouldn't have went back to being a Sam girl if he didn't fully admit like that. It honestly, him not looking for Dean, even though he was the only one who could live without his brother, like he was the one who was able to function, I should say. um it still felt out of character for him. Like that was the one thing that the writers did for Sam where I was like, that just feels out of character. And there was never, I don't recall there being an actual reason. Okay, he met a girl and he wanted to pretend in La La Land. And I'm like, that would have been understandable if he had looked for Dean for like, a year and came up short and then was like, okay, well, then, but to never look for him, that felt so out of character. Like that felt like on like an AO3 tag where they tag like OOC out of character. That's what that felt like. Like that, nothing about it. Because again, even though Sam, and I think that honestly, I think Sam not looking for Dean put such like a tear in their relationship that even though they like Sam apologized so profusely and so honestly, I feel like that was such a hit to their foundation. Like, yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, they just, the trust was broken. Like the trust was broken more then than it was when Sam was drinking demon blood, in my opinion. Yeah. Like it felt like they were trying to make us hate Sam. Like, cause I'm like, I can't even justify that. I can't. What do you mean you didn't look for your brother? Like, yeah, to me, their relationship got better at the end of season 8. Like, season 8, when Sam started the trials, it got better. And then Dean went against Sam's will and had him possessed by an angel. And then it kind of hit the crapper again. Um, but then Dean took the Mark of Cain. And the Mark of Cain era, that was, I think I even said it in a TikTok, that was the first time I think Sam was ever truly scared of his brother. And I was living, living. Because, of course, I didn't want Dean to do anything to Sam. I didn't. But yes, they absolutely did. Someone said the writers did such a good job of showing how they matured with age. They really did. Like the way they wrote these characters was so well done. Even again, even the things that pissed me off that were just so dumb to me, I feel like even if the writers think it was like a mistake, they always were able to like save it in the end. But like the Mark of Cain, that was like Sam's true, like the trial started it, and that like he did it because he wanted to like prove to Dean. But I think the Mark of Cain was really when saving Dean from the Mark of Cain was really when he was like, I have to save my brother. Like this, I have done too much shit to my older brother. I have to save him. Yeah. That's a good point, Antonia. Sam was always controlled, first with Azazel, then Ruby, then Lucifer, then Dean with Gadriel. Yeah. And honestly, even before Azazel, their father. That's why he was always beefing with his dad. Like, what do I think about people saying the ending was good because Dean wanted to die like a hunter or die on a hunt? I think the writers did a very good job of giving the fans what they want and also giving an ending that was true to the tone of the show. because kind of in the sense of Game of Thrones, how like in season 1, for those who have seen Game of Thrones, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't, but in season 1 of Game of Thrones, Tyrion says to Jon Snow, this story does not have a happy ending. Like, if you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. And that was in season 1. And I think episode 20 was the ending that matches the tone of the show. Because, yeah, Dean had said so many times. I don't think that was the death Dean wanted anymore, though. And I think that's why it's so heartbreaking, because after they defeated Chuck, I don't think that's the ending Dean wanted for himself. Like, even before they defeated Chuck, I don't think that's the ending he wanted for himself. Maybe like in the first 7 or 8 seasons, I'll even say the first 10 seasons, that's the ending he wanted. Like, he wanted to go out on a hunt, you know? But as the series went on, he had many moments where he was like, do you ever just think like we can retire? We can just, and like, I just remember there was 2 times where like someone was either in his head or in his dreams, his subconscious, and his happy place was always owning a bar. Like, so I feel like that was what he wanted. And I think that would have been, if they were to only give the show one ending, I would have said they should have had episode 20 be both Sam and Dean are retired and Dean owns a bar, kind of like Ellen and Joe did. And Sam is, I don't fucking know, doing something. I don't know. But I think a perfect ending would have been them retired and hunting. Them retired from hunting. Like, yeah, when he was possessed by Michael, he owned a bar. I'm a Sam girl. He owned a bar. Um, Also, when he visited his friend who tried to kill him, he was like, you could tell he was like daydreaming about owning a bar. Exactly. Someone said it just wouldn't have felt right though. Too neat and too tidy. Exactly. That's why I think episode 19 was an ending for the fans that made sense. And I think they were smart to do it in a way where fans can literally just stop watching the show there when they rewatch. And episode 20 was an episode that made sense for the tone of the show. Because from episode 1, the show was not happy. It was never happy. And they were always fighting for their lives. So, yeah. Yeah. The ending hurt though. No matter what, the ending hurt. And I was not expecting it. Oh my God. Like, Dean may not have retired, but I do think Dean would have done something similar to Ellen. Had a bar, been like a safe haven for other hunters, and still occasionally help out with like maybe a big case or something. Yeah. Right. Like a Bobby for other hunters. Like, I'm really just keep comparing him to Ellen because Ellen had the bar. And honestly, they could have done something, because who was that guy that was in the bar with Ellen and Joe? He had a hat and he like did the research for them. That could have been Sam and Dean. Like Ash, yeah. Yeah. Thoughts on the plot of Other Worlds? I didn't really like that. I didn't. I didn't hate it. I think what I didn't like about it was that it just went on for too long. Like it didn't need to go on that long. It didn't. I feel like we saw too much of the other world. Uh what was it? I didn't like them bringing back Charlie and Bobby and Kevin Tran that way, mainly because again, it went on too long. Like it just went on too long to me. Like if it would have been maybe like 3 or 4 episodes, sure. But I was like, we're still here? Like, yeah, like the episode, it was in season 15 where they went back to save Kaya. We didn't need that. I'm sorry. I didn't think we needed that. Like, I remember watching it and I was like, okay. Like, I just did not care about her at all. The other Sam and Dean from the other world, I thought that was funny. Um, yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Literally, I'm not gonna say her name because Lord knows I always get flagged every time I say that woman's name. But yes, she was on the show for too long. I was so happy when Jack got rid of her. I wasn't even happy. It was more like I'm irritated because now Sam and Dean have to go through losing their mom again. She was just there for too long. She was there for what, 2 seasons? It felt like 20. Like top 5 favorite characters, Sam and Dean, they're tied. Number 1. Number 2 is Rowena. Number 3 is Castiel. Number 4 is Crowley. And number 5 is Lucifer. Right. Oh my god, Sam's death in it was season 13, episode 21. Yeah. Scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of me. Yeah. Yeah, I thought Amara was, or not Amara. I thought God was going to be Jack from the beginning. Well, not from the beginning, but like whatever season it was where they started talking about taking out Chuck. But that was only because him and Amara were the only 2 people who were powerful enough to take the job. Like that's it. What you doing? Where are your eyes, Charlie? Listen, the British Men of Letters, I didn't hate the plot. But again, I didn't like that woman, their mother, who kept appearing and disappearing. And like that there were a lot of parts of the British Men of Letters that irritated me. Um, but I did think though that Sam was going to restart the Men of Letters. I thought that was going to be his ending because what was it, season 12, where they took on the Men of Letters and like all the vampires or whatever. Um and Sam was like leading them and he was like in his Captain America bag for a second. Yeah, I genuinely thought, I was like, "Oh, they're setting Sam up to be like the next leader." Um yeah, because Dean never gave leader in that sense. Like Dean was more of like a do what I say or I'm gonna shoot you. um and occasionally, like, I feel like Dean had the skills, but Dean just wasn't interested in leading people. um I don't know what my Charlie wants. He wants something, and I don't know. He keeps looking at me. He's just trying to. He has bangs right now. Um, between Sam and Dean, who are you picking as? Oh, I'm picking Sam. Like, but again, literally, I love Sam and I am a Sam girl, but like, you could really flip a coin and I'll take either. Like, Charlie, I don't know what you want, sir. I don't. What time is it? Time for your meds. 1 second, y'all. You get some peanut butter. You get some peanut butter. And then just take the little scoop and then just put the pill in the peanut butter. All right. Look at that. Yay. Yum. Love that. And you drop that on the floor. So we can wipe off the floor. All right. Okay. All right. Tomorrow's your last day of getting like every 12 hours. Okay. Whew. Mark of Cain, Dean. Will I ever go to a supernatural convention? Absolutely. I'm gonna have to save up, but yeah, I do want to go. I really do want to go. I don't know what I would do if I met them. I would like to think I'm very calm meeting celebrities. I'm not though. I'm not. Ian Somerhalder literally just walked past me, and all I did was scream in his face. I just screamed. Ah! Just screamed. Like, thank you. I got it from Wayfair when I was in college. And we had a mirror and this painting in our apartment. And luckily my roommate and we knew each other well enough where we didn't even have to argue over who was getting what. She wanted the mirror and I wanted the painting. Like, oh yeah. Right. I do think Dean could get you through a crisis. I just feel like Dean, if anyone's seen The Walking Dead, Dean is very much like a Rick Grimes type of leader. You know what I mean? And I just don't think that's what the situation always calls for. Um, because like, while I love Rick Grimes, great leader, very sexy, very feral. Um, he went crazy a lot of times. Like, A lot of times. Favorite Dean look? Dean with the black eyes. No, Purgatory Dean. No, no. Dean with glasses. No. I think it's the black eyes. I think Dean with the demon eyes for sure is my favorite Dean. And I think my favorite Sam is Sam season 12 episode 1 where the rain, like the water, the cold water is like drenching him and he's like tied up and he's like being beat. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember. I like when I tell y'all, I don't remember what they look like in season 1. Like I do, but I don't. What, Char? He's just, what do you want? You cannot eat the leaves. Um, my favorite Sam hair is once it started to become a bob. Like once he was given like almost Lord Farquaad. Once he had the bob, I was locked in. Locked in. He got the bob and once his hair started getting long. Yeah. Oh my god, I would never look to Castiel in a crisis. I love Castiel, but when I tell you he would be the last person I would look towards in a crisis. What? Castiel? There's nothing here for you. Stop it. This is a cord. Ugh, you're getting heavy. You saw on my phone. Um, Yeah, Castiel, I quite literally could never look to Castiel in an emergency. Castiel, again, always means well, but like you look to Castiel in an emergency and you find yourself in the middle of 3 other crises after taking his advice. Like, yeah. How old was Sam in the first season? Dean's daughter. What do I like about Castiel? One, the fact that he always meant well. Like, Castiel always meant well. He never did anything maliciously. Like, he never did anything to benefit only himself. Like, Cass was such a good person or angel down to the soul or whatever an angel has. Like, it was just every time. Like, and I love the fact that he was pretty much like willing to die for Dean and therefore Sam and Jack. Like, he was 22. Damn. I was 4 years older than him, or I am 4 years older than him in the first season. Um, right. Like, Cass's character growth was very good. And you know what? Because Cass was not in the show as much as Dean and Sam, and not as much as I thought he was going to be in the show, um, his death, him kind of showing like him telling Dean that like it's not that he's angry, it's that like he loves so much. It just makes your heart hurt. Like, Have not decided yet, Mara. Let me tell you, I think I said this already, but I don't blame Ruby for what she did. I don't, because had it been me and I had a tall hunk of man, a tall hunk of Sam Winchester in front of me who was addicted to me, I would have did the same thing. I would have did the same thing. The same thing. I'd have been like, actually, we're locked in. Y'all can't take them from me. I just would have been like, Dean, you're gonna have to get used to it, or you can join, like one or the other. Like, like I've seen House of Dragons. I actually have a playlist on my profile of my reactions to House of Dragons season 2. I don't think I put season 1 on there. I reacted to season 1 of House of Dragons, but I actually don't remember if I put it in the playlist or not. Like, top 3 most suspenseful finales. Probably the season 3 finale. Season 3 for sure. Dean getting dragged to hell. The season 4 finale. And was it season 9 where he woke up with like the demon eyes, where Dean woke up with demon eyes? Those are probably the top 3. Yeah. Yeah, those are probably my top 3 finales. What do you think about the idea of the show coming back for a mini season done by HBO? Jensen said. I'm not opposed to it. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. I don't hate it. I don't. Only reason I'm hesitant, one, is because I can't think of an example where a show has had a reunion episode or series. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Well, actually, the only one I'm thinking of is the Teen Wolf movie, and that was fucking awful. So, oh no, Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds is doing it now, and it's really good. Yeah, I'd be for it. If it's the same, I got my roots done because I haven't had like gotten my roots done since like April. Um, like it's here's actually like my hair's a lot lighter now. Uh Listen, Pablo, I agree. There should have been more crossovers in the CW. The CW was running shit for years. One of the alternate universes Supernatural could have went to could have been the 100. Easy. Easy. That could have happened so fucking easily. So easily. They could have popped up in the 100. They could have popped up in Vampire Diaries. They could have went over to Mystic Falls easily. Easily. They never really went too far east and they didn't really go into major cities, but they could have went into New York and ran into like Chuck Bass. I don't know. That would have been fucking hilarious to see Dean dealing with a Chuck Bass. That would have been hilarious. Like we should have had more crossovers. I always wanted a crossover between Vampire Diaries and Gossip Girl because I wanted Georgina Sparks to meet Catherine Pierce. Like Supernatural and Riverdale would have been hilarious. I don't think I have. Hiccup. Right. Blair Waldorf and Catherine would have been a problem. Like the CW had so many opportunities, like because they were just running shit for so long. They could have had a lot of crossovers. Like, yeah. Twilight was shot next to them. Yeah, this is Charlie. He's fine. He's just like antsy for some reason. If I could remove one season, I want to say season 7, but like keep Charlie. Just introduce Charlie in like season 6 or season like 8 or something. But like I didn't like season 7. Supernatural had a cameo in Legends of Tomorrow. That's cool. Like Car. What did I think of Misha playing Lucifer? I thought he did a great job. I thought he did a great job. That was a plot twist. I didn't see that one coming. And that's why, because that was season 11 too, right? Yeah, season 11 was so good. Like, let me tell you, it took a very, and actually not even took, it still is. I have not read anything. Like, I've not read any fan fiction about Supernatural yet. I looked up Twist and Shout just because so many people were like, don't read it. And I was like, well, now I have to. Um, yeah, I'm not reading that. So sorry. Well, I guess not sorry. Y'all told me not to. But I didn't one of the like tagged couples was I think Castiel and Belphegor, whatever his name is. And I didn't like that. So yeah. I have seen a few of the panels. Yeah, honestly, that's the only reason I'd be interested to rewatch The Boys, but I just don't think I'd be able to get through it. There are some scenes where literally had me gagging. Like it's a very gross show. But I want to know if I'd catch the references. I haven't picked anything to watch yet. I'm taking suggestions. Um I'll probably make a post about it tonight. Like what show should I watch next? Or movies. Oh, no, Antonia, I don't. But what you just said reminded me of something. I saw a video on my For You page today of Hosier singing Work Song. And I realized he was singing it live, like in a basement or something, doing like stuff Hosier does. That song is so Dean Winchester coded. When my time comes around, lay me gently in the cold, dark earth, because no grave could hold my body down. I crawl home to her. Like, that is a Dean Winchester song. That is a so Dean Winchester song. Like, because quite literally, Dean has fought death so many times and won. And won. Like, yeah. I have not seen Travelers. Yeah. I heard when I heard him singing that, I was like, "Oh, this song hits a bit differently now." Yeah. I have not seen Walker. Like, is Travelers well, wait, is Travelers the show with What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? The one from Wicked. Um, Dancing Through Life. Jonathan Bailey. Him. Is that Travelers? Oh. No, not Wicked. I mean, like, wasn't Jonathan. Oh, what's the movie Jonathan Bailey was in with Matthew Bomber? I thought they did a show together called Travelers. Oh. I fucking love Hamilton. How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar? The $10 founding father without a father. Like, don't get me started on Hamilton. That's my shit. Like, oh, fellow travelers. Got it. Oh, that sounds interesting. It's about agents sent back in time to other bodies to prevent the apocalypse. Okay. That sounds good. What's up, Ben 10? Like, I have seen Agatha all along. Because down, down, down we go, down the witch's road was stuck in my head for like weeks. The Hamilton soundtrack, Hamilton hit Disney Plus on 4th of July in 2020. I had no choice but to learn all the lyrics. And I was so blown away by the opening number. It took me almost like a day to watch it because I would rewind every song to hear it again. Like, it was so good. Where does Supernatural rank in my all-time favorite shows? That's a good question. Honestly, to be honest, I don't even know what my favorite shows are. Like, if you were to ask me what my favorite show is, I don't know what my answer would be. Probably just a show I rewatch a lot. But I think Supernatural might just be my new favorite show because that was so much better than I ever expected the show to be. Like, I think that's part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much was because I was so thoroughly shocked that a show that ran for 15 seasons on the CW managed to be that good. Like, I was at no point in time that I expected to be that good. Because you have shows that hit 15 seasons and they eventually go to shit. Like Grey's Anatomy, I have no interest in. Well, I take that back. Once the show officially ends, I'll probably rewatch it just so that way I can say I completed it. But I stopped after Karev. Like, I think I may have watched a few more episodes after that during the COVID season. But after Karev, I was like, no, they've pissed me off. I do have Prime. Yeah, I have to emphasize that it's on the CW because I'm like, while the CW gave us so many hits, they botched all the endings, all of them. So I'm like, the fact that they managed to, like, I can't think of any show. The only show I can think of, and I think I'd have to put more time into it to think, that to me had a good start and ending is probably just Teen Wolf and Shameless. Like, the episode that hooked me, no, Charlie. Um, That's a good question. I don't know. I think it had to have been season 1, episode 13, because that's what made me record the first TikTok I made. I don't remember um what happened in that episode, but I remember because I started watching it over 4th of July weekend. And I just remember being like, what? Why are you panicking? The dog has anxiety. Like, honestly, I don't know what he wants. But I think it was season 1, episode 30. Let me Google, like, what was the plot of that episode? Supernatural season 1, episode 13. Route 66. Oh, that's the episode with Cassie, I think. No, that couldn't have been the episode that hooked me in. I don't think that was it. Wait, was it episode 13 that was the episode I recorded, or did I post it on July 13th, which is why I keep thinking 13? Oh my God, Night Agent season 2 comes out soon, y'all. It comes out next week. Right? Like, I just didn't think the show would be that good. I didn't. I also think because I had seen so much of it out of context and the way it was talked about on Tumblr, I really could not make heads or tails of the fucking plot. And so it just seemed kind of like just a silly little show that just went on for too long. Like, it just kind of had that reputation in my head. Um but like, I never, which I guess it makes sense that I never saw any post about the actual storyline because I wasn't following any supernatural blogs. Okay, let's see if I say what episode. Oh yeah, episode 13. Okay. Yeah, so episode 13 is the episode where I was like, okay, what is going on? I've never heard of Flashpoint. I've heard of Flashpoint. Oh no, I'm thinking of Flash Paradox, the DC movie. That's probably why, Ellery. I think I don't recall episode 13 being anything. I'd have to I think once I rewatch it, it'll probably jog my memory a bit more, but cuz I remember maybe like the 5th or 6th episode, that was when I caught myself stopping what I was doing and watching it. Cuz like I put it on just to have something in the background that I hadn't seen before. And probably about 4 or 5 episodes in, I was like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? And I put my phone down and was actually like paying attention. And then I was like, what the fuck is this show about? Yeah. The Scarecrow episode did scare me. It creeped me out real bad. That's how I feel about Grey's Anatomy, or not Grey's Anatomy. That's how I feel about Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds came out when I was like 7. And I don't remember a time in my life where I did not watch it. Same with Grey's Anatomy. Who's the worst parent in my opinion? John. Without a doubt, it was John. John Winchester. And the reason why John was worse than Mary was because John, he was terrible after they lost a parent, right? Like he lost his wife, but they lost their mom. And instead of stepping up, he just became terrible. And then what makes it worse is that he had another son. He had Adam. He had Adam. Dean's daughter. He had a daughter? I remember Ben, the son. He had a daughter? I am a Sam girl. I don't remember him having a daughter. Right. Like John made a choice. Mary was dealt a bad hand and just made terrible decisions with that bad hand. Like she still was not good because the way she just kept leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, da 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 da. Like, no. But I don't hold what John did against her. Like she didn't screw up her kids. That's really just what it comes down to. She didn't screw up her kids. To me, she didn't even get a chance to be a bad parent. Like the Amazon warrior. I don't remember that. Oh, I do remember that. I do remember that because she was trying to kill Dean, right? Like she had to kill Dean. Got it. Yeah. I think I do think the writers did not do a good job with Mary's comeback, or rather, I just didn't like it because I think one, I don't think Mary should have been in the show for that long. I don't. Um, I also think if they were going to have her in the show, they should have had her in the show and not going back and forth. That was too much. Like right when I would forget she was around, she'd pop back up, and I'd be like, "All right." I loved Crowley. I loved Crowley. The plot line between Crowley and Lucifer fighting over hell, loved it. Just them going back and forth, and Rowena finding out, oh, the reveal, Rowena's character from beginning to end, 10 out of 10. No notes. They ate that character, ate the writing for that character. She was great. Literally, my hands are so dry this time of year. They, yeah. Blonde Ruby or brunette Ruby? Brunette Ruby. Mainly because blonde Ruby I'll always see as what's her name for Gossip Girl. And I hated her in Gossip Girl. Like her character. I hated her character in Gossip Girl. Juliet. That was her name in Gossip Girl. Flashback Mary. I don't know what you mean by that. What's flashback Mary? Okay, so what's T? Because I do feel like Crowley's ending was a bit too soon. Like his ending, like I wasn't it just kind of felt like it shouldn't have been the actual ending, you know? Like it felt like he should have popped back up. Like So what was going on? He didn't like it? Like someone said they screwed him over. What they do? What's going on? What's tea? They got oh damn, that's messed up. He was such a great character. Does he go to the conventions? They did soften Crowley up a lot. But that's kind of why I like the Mark of Cain Dean, because Mark of Cain was like, yeah, you're acting like a bitch. That shit was funny. No. Sorry. Okay. No. Oh. Got it. What do you think about the whole plot armor thing in season 15? What do you mean by plot armor? Oh. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I think one thing I didn't hate it, but one thing I kind of wish they would have shown was I feel like they kind of half-assed it. Like they'd stop it, sit still, just be calm. Be calm. One thing I wish they could have done, I felt like they kind of half-assed it. Like I feel like if they were going to take away, like if they were going to have it be God or Chuck was the one controlling all of this, and because he's no longer controlling it, they have no skills, they have nothing. I feel like they should have probably took it a bit further, because it also didn't really make sense, because I'm like, if their dad taught them these things, then it had nothing to do with Chuck. You know what I mean? Like I felt like they should have had it would have been a bit more interesting if they kind of did what happened to Dean when he was forgetting who he was. If they had it be like they were forgetting who they were, like Sam and Dean were not remembering that they were Sam and Dean Winchester and what that meant. That would have had me gagged. That would have been interesting. But it was almost more like a comedic relief element to it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it. But like even you just saying plot armor, like it took me a minute because it didn't seem like that serious of a plot point in the show. Like, if that makes sense. Like, cause I feel like they should have took it all the way. Like they just like it just wasn't enough. Um yeah, I could see that. I could see that, Jake. I could see that. Yeah, like Sam not knowing how to pick a lock. Like again, it would be one thing if we didn't know that John Winchester trained them or trained Dean and Dean Sam. Like that would be one thing. But because we knew that, it was just kind of like, all right, well, like that doesn't don't really do much, Like I feel like it would have been interesting because I actually really liked the episode where Dean was forgetting who he was and Rowena had to come like help him and Sam. I know, sure. He's literally like a toddler. Like he's on such a routine that if I'm not in my bed, like in my bedroom by like 8:30, he starts acting up. Like, yeah, um, they're such good actors. Like that whole my favorite actor though that was not a main character was Azazel, without a doubt, because that scene where Dean had to torture him lives in my head rent free. Rent free. Like that scene was so good. And I think the best like non-regular characters, Azazel, Death, and Death. Like both deaths. Alistair. Yeah, I kept confusing him with Azazel. My fault. Yeah, Alistair. Alistair, um, uh, like you're actually about to irritate me right now. Like I need you to calm down. Like you're doing a lot. A lot. Shh. Calm it down. Like it's too much. Um Oh, I think it's insane to give any of them hate for their acting. What? Jared gets a lot of hate? That's crazy. He was acting his ass off from episode 1. What? What? I don't think they played off each other so well. I actually don't think. Okay, so have you ever. Okay. Have y'all seen the movie Red, White, and Royal Blue? Um, Based off the book with it's with Nicholas Galitzine, I think that's his name. And another guy whose name I think his name's Taylor or something. Um, well, if you've seen the movie, the acting, while both were good actors, they were acting on different levels. Like the blonde was acting like he was going for the Academy Award, whereas the brunette was acting like he was going for a Teen Choice Award. No hate to either. Both, I enjoyed both performances, but because the levels were different, and I'm not saying the brunette could not give an Academy Award performance, let that be clear. I'm just saying because one was almost overacting and one wasn't, the way they played off each other just felt off to me. And I feel like if Jensen and Jared were not on the same level, it would not have worked. It would not have worked. Like, it just simply would not have worked. I think there were aspects of Dean, Jensen's character, that made his scenes almost hit a bit harder. So I feel like that may be why some people may lean towards Jensen being a better actor. Because I know for me, I was not expecting the show to be as emotional. And if it was, I definitely was not expecting Dean to be the one to have so many heart-wrenching like scenes. Like I was not expecting that going in. So I think that was like a surprising aspect to it, which showcased his skill because there was like that surprise element to it. But both of them are such good actors. Honestly, the whole cast was. Like, I just don't think the show would have worked if they were not good actors. Like, and by good, I mean like equal. I don't think it would have worked. Now, does maybe one of them have a bigger range than the other? Possibly. I don't know. I haven't really seen them in anything else other than Jensen and the Boys. But as for the show Supernatural, they ate those roles up. No notes. No notes. every single character, because that was the one thing I said I noticed from like season 2 or 3 was that even the side characters, the people who were just the little one episode for the story, were great actors. Like they were selling that story. They did a great job. A great job. Like, oh, I could never say they weren't acting their ass off in that show. Mm-mm. Oh, yeah, it definitely has a reputation of poor acting, and I think that's because it's a CW show. I think the fact that it's a CW show, it was never recognized during award season, the plot, and probably the plot, like the serious plot and the humorous plot. I think it just got a bad rep. Like, and I also think I'm a huge believer in this, but whenever a show gets a very large female fan base, it's typically invalidated. Unless it was purposely targeted towards women, but even then, cuz people dismiss shows that have large fan shows and movies. Anything that gets a large female audience, it's typically considered silly, invalidated, like, oh, it's not that serious. Like that's just a running thing, like across all genres, whether it's superheroes, sci-fi, fantasy, drama, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah. Right, I can't lie. I was surprised that there weren't more men in my comments when I started posting about Supernatural. Because even though I knew it had a large female fan base, I knew that just because of Tumblr. But I didn't think that was the majority of the fan base. I didn't. Um, the Imaginary Friends episode was fun. Um, Jesse, the Antichrist plot hole. That kind of rings a bell, but I don't really recall anything about it. Yeah, I can see that, Jake. Jake said, I do think the earlier seasons appealed more to men and later seasons appealed more to women, for sure. And I think that was what season was it where Becky had them go to a convention? Was that season 5 where Becky tricked them into going to a convention? That was season 5. I think it wouldn't surprise me if that was like where I noticed more of the shift, because there were a bunch of men at the convention, but then any other time the books were talked about or Supernatural was talked about, it was always women. Like Becky, the publicist, the fan fiction episode. Like it was always girls. Oh, I forgot about him. The kid who turned Cass into an action figure. You're right. I forgot about him. I completely forgot about him. Damn. I forgot about him. Yeah. Honestly, now that you bring that up, that kind of has the same vibe as like in Iron Man 3. He met that kid Harley who came to his funeral, and everyone was having Harley be like Tony Stark's like long lost son, adoptive son. And then Peter Parker came into the picture and they just never met. I guess technically they met at the funeral, but never showed them meeting. The Scooby Doo episode was so good. What do you think is different between the convention on the show and the cons in real life? I feel like the way they talk. I feel like one thing that's gonna be like really jarring as I get into like the convention and blooper side is like how they talk. Like it's gonna be weird hearing them talk at like a natural cadence. You know what I mean? Like that isn't written. You know what I mean? Because some things are just so like if someone were to read a line, like just read a line, I could probably guess if it was Dean or Sam who said it. But it's going to be interesting to learn their personalities. Kind of like in Vampire Diaries, finding out Paul Wesley was pretty much the exact opposite of Stefan. Like saddest death on Supernatural for you. Probably Charlie. Yeah, she didn't deserve that. Charlie, then Dean, cuz fuck. Um Bobby's death just went on for so long. Like probably Charlie. Oh yeah, Paul Wesley's absolutely hilarious. If I could have any spinoff, what would I want? That's a good question. Honestly, I'd probably just redo the ending. Maybe a spinoff. Okay, here's what I'd want. I'd want a 6-episode miniseries, just 6 episodes, where it picks up after season 15, episode 19. Ooh, actually, scratch that. Scratch that, scratch that, scratch that. A 6-episode miniseries where someone, maybe Sam's son, brings Dean and Sam back to life. Ooh, that would be good. Brings Dean and Sam back to life, you know, because he picked up hunting or whatever. Brings Dean and Sam back to life, and they have one last hurrah, and they call up Jack, and Jack brings Cass back from the empty, and they have like one last case to solve. I don't fucking know. Um, yeah, yeah. But I'd want it to start at episode 20 because I think that would be one. I feel like if you're gonna do like a spinoff, you kind of have to start where you're left off at. So I think having, I don't know how Sam's son could bring Dean and Sam to life. I'm sure there's a way he could do it though. Like shit, it's supernatural. But bring Dean and Sam back to life because he needs their help to solve a case. And because maybe it's, I don't know what it could possibly be, but something where he's like, I cannot figure this out. I need my dad. And if I know, like, my dad's going to want his brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's heard so much about Dean growing up. So he brings Dean back too. And then he has to go like, I don't know how the fuck this would happen. Like I don't know where he would get the bodies because they would be a bag of bones by that point. They would be a bag of bones. But maybe he calls up Jack. I don't fucking know. But brings them back. Or maybe Jack is the one who wakes them up and is like, I need you guys to go back to Earth. We gotta handle something. There's treachery afoot. There is danger. And I need you guys to do what you do best. And they're in heaven and they're like, Jack, like we're retired, we're out the game, you need to tell me there's no more hunters. And Jack is like, trust me, I would not do this if it wasn't important, if it wasn't life or death on the planet. Like I would let you guys stay in your heaven, but this is important. Like we need the Winchesters. And they're like, okay, well, we're gonna need Cass. Like maybe, oh, wait. Oh, I love doing this. So that would be how episode 1 ends, right? There's some issue, there's some bad guy, something going on, something's a rumbling on Earth, right? And Jack is like, okay, let's see if we can handle this, see if we can figure it out. Him and the angels trying to figure it out, da 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 da. Maybe he even teams up with Rowena because Rowena's the queen of hell. And they realize, they're like, we need the Winchesters. They're the only two who could do this. And that's how episode 1 ends. Episode 2, boom, Jack is talking to the Winchesters in heaven. And he's like, listen, I don't want to bother you guys. Like, I know you guys, you're in your happy place. You're in heaven. You've retired. You're done. You're happy. You're at peace. But we need the Winchesters. I'm sorry. Like, we can't do this without the Winchesters. And they're like, Jack, like, there's got to be someone else. Like, we're done. Like, we're dead. What do you expect us to do? And Jack is like, I'm God. I can do whatever. And I would not do this if it wasn't important. And so he's going back and forth with them, da 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 da. And then they're like, okay, we'll do it. But then the episode ends and Dean's like, but we need Cass. We need Cass. So boom, episode 2 ends. Episode 3 starts. Boom. Oh my God. I'm literally writing a hit right now in my head. I see it. Episode 3 starts and Jack is talking to the empty, who's still Meg, by the way, who's still Meg. And he's talking to the empty and he's like, we need to wake up Cass. Need to wake up Cass. And the empty's like, you can't wake me up, da-da-da. So they have a little fight, little battle, duke it out. And then they get Cass. And then he brings Cass and the Winchesters up to heaven. Or like, not heaven, but like the little heaven that looks like an office space. Brings them there. And so they have a little reunion. And they're all happy. It's tears, it's joy, it's happy. And then Jack tells them what the fuck is going on. And they're trying to figure it out. They're like, well, okay, well, what's this? Did you try this? Did that happen? Da, 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 da. And then boom, episode 4, they're on Earth. They're trying to figure it out. They're duking it out. And then episodes 4 and 5, they're fighting whatever this entity is. They have a few more little reunions. Maybe Sam and Dean go get to see Sam's son. However many years have passed, they meet up with the other hunters. They're like, we're only here on vacation. Like, we're here. They called in the big leagues. Y'all couldn't handle it. You needed the Winchesters. So here we are. So 4 and 5, they're handling shit. They got the other hunters, maybe teamed up with other hunters like kids. And then boom, episode 6, they solved it, saved the day. Everyone gets to say their goodbyes. And then Jack takes everyone back to where they're meant to be. And boom, that would be my spinoff. Oh, facts. He is in heaven. So boom, there you go. Then maybe Cass is the one who's like, Jack, we need the Winchesters. We need Sam and Dean. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Antonia. But yeah, that would be my spinoff. Like, yeah, if he's already out the empty, then yeah, because you're right. Cass helped Jack build heaven. So yeah, that's real easy then. Just call him up. Just be like, clock in. You got work to do. Like, I am your leader. Like, right, Jade, you get it. What I think about the 2 failed spinoff pilots, I think it's not surprising that they failed. I think the one that had the most, that would have been most likely, probably would have been the one with like the different like gangs of supernatural creatures in like Chicago or something. To me, that had the most potential. And it actually had a pretty solid cast. Like, I recognized a lot of those actors in that episode. So it would have been a solid lineup to lead a show. Like, it wouldn't have been a bunch of unknowns. You know what I mean? Not that that's a bad thing, but they had a solid lineup, solid plot. But it still just wasn't giving enough for me. And then the one about about Patience, Jody, Donna, Cassie, Alex. It was too sci-fi for me. It was just a bit too sci-fi. Yeah, it was a bit too sci-fi for me. I'm gonna be real though, if it had actually aired, I probably would have watched it. So what that says about me. Ooh, what if Sam in heaven finds out his son is in danger and he, Dean, and Cass convince Jack to actually help on Earth, like you said, a rescue mission. I could see that. I could see like there's so many possibilities. And the thing with Supernatural is that just because you die doesn't mean you're dead. So yeah. A Bobby and Rufus spinoff. Yeah, that would have been a good prequel to have like a series of them early on. That would have been good. Yeah. Yeah. To me, the scariest episode of Supernatural was that episode where it was like two human kids in the house, like locked in the house, and they were trying to grab the people. I'm pretty sure they were human, if I recall that correctly. That would have been scary. A Rowena spinoff? Yes. A Rowena spinoff. Listen, a Rowena spinoff I'd want done just like how I want my Twilight reboot to go, where it starts off like centuries ago, and depending on how long it is, either each episode or each season is a new decade, new century. Jensen didn't tell Jared about starting the Winchesters? Why? Charlie, leave your paws alone. Charlie, like seriously, that is the most irritating noise. Like my gosh. I do remember seeing like a public Twitter thing. I think I remember seeing Jarrett tweet, I wish I would have known this was happening. I didn't know he was serious. Like, or rather, I didn't know Jensen did the show. I thought like other people on the show did it. Like, like, wait, so why didn't he tell? That's actually so funny. Was Jensen in the show? Or was it just like his character? Oh, okay. Charlie, like you're making me seem like a bad mother. Mm, I have heard Jensen sing. He's a great singer. Thanks, cough dropped. Like, that's funny. Um, yeah, I may watch the Winchesters. Who knows? Who knows? Possibly. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. If I do, y'all will be the first to know. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I have not seen the Misha mockumentary. I didn't even know that was a thing. I am American. Oh, like I'm kind of losing on the TikTok man. If it goes through, yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I have so many thoughts about the TikTok ban, but it all comes down to two things. One, it's stupid as fuck. And three, I can't do shit about it. I said three. I'm tired if y'all haven't been able to tell. One, it's stupid as fuck, and two, I can't do shit about it. So I'm on YouTube. Um, like I literally can't stress about it. Yeah. Like like Charlie, I don't know. You're literally being a toddler right now. Ugh, please be calm. Be calm. Um oh, shout out to your stepson if he looks like that. Props to him. Thank you for that. You know what I would want to read a fic of? Um, like I'm not really like an alternate universe girly. Um, I'm not. Like I don't really that's never been really my cup of tea. I like a, AU canon divergence type thing. Um, but never really like a true. There. It's right there. Look. Jesus. What was I saying? Oh, I would love to read a fic where it's just like thought my chapstick was about to fall. Where it's just like them happy. Like um I will say I'm kind of indifferent when it comes to shit. Well, let me stop. Let me stop. Because it really depends on like the fandom. So like for example, the MCU ships don't really bother me. Um but most of the ones I read, it's so minimal. Like I forget that there's a ship in the plot. Like he is restless. That's why I just gave him a Chewy. um um Possibly, I don't know. If not together, I'll definitely post a reaction to it. Um what was I saying? Oh, but yeah, like there's not really, other than Sam and Eileen, there aren't really any ships I'm like die hard for in Supernatural. So I don't I what is like, someone give me the name of like a good, cuz that's what I was gonna say. Literally, that's literally just what I was gonna say. Because a lot of the fics on AO3 are like Destiel centered, and it's like I'm not opposed to it. Like that's not like a hard no for me. Um, but like the plot has to be thick enough, you know? Like I love that, Yash. That's hilarious. Um, that's the only no, I won't do the rewatch on live. Um, unless it's like a specific episode maybe, but no, unless I have like, yeah, no, I won't do a rewatch on live. um But yeah, I don't I think that's also the thing that's making it hard for me to find anything to read with Supernatural is that I genuinely don't know what to look for because I'm not really a Destiel girly. So and everything's Destiel. So only thing is I don't like to bring like when it comes to fan fiction, I just like to be in my own little bubble and just search because I don't think authors are writing stuff for it to be publicized on a platform. You know what I mean? Like if I had like 200 followers, then sure. But with almost 65,000, I don't want to put anyone's stuff out there who doesn't want it out there. Um so yeah. Favorite characters in Supernatural. Sam and Dean are tied at number 1, and then Rowena, and then Castiel, and then Crowley, and then Lucifer. The most badass Sam or Dean moment by themselves or together? Oh, um, that's a good question. Hmm. This isn't a violent scene, but I think Sam's most badass moment was when he said no to Lucifer in the cage. That was the moment where I was like, oh, my man has grown. He has grown. He is matured. He is a man. Yeah. Yeah. That was when that's like one of my favorite Sam moments because I was like, because he was already on like his redemption arc anyway. Not redemption, but just like he was in such a like deep character development the last few like 10 or 12 episodes. And then him saying no to Lucifer, I was like, thank you, Lord. But then fucking Cass said yes. um, but I love that scene. I love that whole season. And then my favorite Dean moment. Hmm. Probably when he fought Kane. That was a good fight. Oh yeah. My dog's name is Charlie because I thought he looked like an old man. My favorite villain is Lucifer. Um, yeah, and yeah, Lucifer. My favorite Winchester moment together, though, so many. I'm gonna have to think about that. There's so many good moments. Wait, I changed my Dean moment. My favorite Dean moment. I don't even remember what I said. I don't remember what I said my favorite badass Dean moment was, but I change it. And it's the scene where Sam, it's like in the early seasons, like in the first 5 seasons, where Sam is kidnapped by, I think, a family of vampires. It was like 4 or 5 vampires. And they were like in this like shed, like shack, like this rundown house. And Dean lost his mind and took out all of them. Yeah. That was a good moment. Oh, I said Kane. Yeah. Yeah. If it had to be one of the evil things, what would I be? Probably a witch. Yeah. Probably a witch. They're the best looking. You know what I mean? Like they don't turn into anything ugly. Like their teeth aren't fucked up. They don't have to like eat a heart. Like probably a witch. Yeah. Yeah. Favorite character introduction? Yeah, I'd say the same. Castiel and Death had like the best character introductions. Like, oh, wait. Because there are a lot of Sam scenes like running through my head right now. I really like it was like after season 9, Sam got I always love Sam, but his personality, there was such a shift and like how he supported Dean. And there's so many moments because now I'm thinking of he just got a bit more like arrogant. Oh, like he almost turned into Dean a little bit because he was a bit more arrogant. And there's the scene where he's pretty much telling, I want to say he was talking to the Lady Bevel from like Men of Letters. Was that her name, Lady Bevel? Or am I thinking of the character from the Barbie movie? The Barbie and the Nutcracker movie. Um, but the British one who was in Vampire Diaries. When he was talking to her and he was like, I've been tortured by Lucifer himself. There's nothing you can do. That, yeah, that was a great scene. Uh, yeah. But yeah, I would have been a witch. Favorite demon or monster? Crowley. And then Crowley, then probably Garth and Benny. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dean going after the Steins. Yeah. Yes. Oh my god, now that I'm thinking about that scene, yeah. It for me it was the end of that scene where he's talking to the kid. That whole those last two that he killed when they were in the bunker. I remember thinking when he killed the first guy because he was like he only have one brain and then shot him. I was like, hey. And then the kid was like begging for his life, and I was like, well, maybe not. And then Dean still killed him, and I was like, oh. And then Castiel came and my favorite Castiel scene. Castiel in season 15, love it. Love it. No, I love it, Jake. Like literally, that's one of the reasons why I liked recording and like documenting me watching the show so much because the worst thing about watching a show is not having anyone to talk about it with. I do, Ren. Demon Dean was such like that was a time. Like I love Demon Dean. Yeah, Castiel in season 15 was really good. I was gonna say when Castiel beat the shit out of Dean for giving up and wanting to say yes. Like that was a good fight. Not really a fight. Um I love when you always smiled when someone is hot, even when it's a ruthless scene. Listen, I can't even hide the smile. I would try to sometimes because I'm like, this is not the time for this, Alex. But I couldn't help it. Like, especially like with like Soulless Sam, like there was some moments where I was like, this should not be attractive. Same thing, Supernatural, The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead used to get me real bad because Rick Grimes, there's a scene where he literally bit out a man's throat. I was in love. In love. Like, yeah, I I'm almost certain my like pupils probably dilated looking at Demon Dean. Like Demon Dean, Sam when he was like tied up on that chair and like drenched in water. Oh, Peaky Blinders Dean. Yeah. Yeah. When Sam finally popped up with the beard, y'all, oh god. He popped up with the beard a few times and then would shave it. Like, yeah, Cass with the gin. Yeah. I feel like season 15 Cass. I don't know what this notification is. Like, okay, what is this? Oh, why do I even have Instagram open? Um, the shirtless Sam scene in season 6, episode 3. I think it was like 3 minutes and 48 seconds in. Yeah, I remember. Peaky Blinders Dean, listen, I think because Thomas Shelby is so attractive. Oh, I love Thomas Shelby. I love Thomas Shelby. Like, oh, and Dean popping up dressed like that. I loved the voice Sam did, or I guess Jarrett did, whenever he was playing Sam possessed by someone. Like, whatever he was possessed by, Gadriel or Lucifer, he would like carry himself a different way. Like his shoulders would always be back, like his posture just shifted. And he just had a very like blank, ruthless, like it reminded me of like some of the guys in books I read. Like, oh, when you were crying about the scene that Sam had to kill Rowena, and at the same time you were saying that Dean looks so good in his shirt. Listen, that was like probably one of the hardest things about this show is like the most devastating, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching scene would be happening and dialogue would be exchanged. But then you look at it through your tears and you're like, they look so fucking good. Like, how are you supposed to focus? What is the plot? What is the plot? You know? It's so hard to focus. I forgot Sam. See, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember too much of the first 2 seasons. Like I remember, but not, you know? Like, mm. I do wish we had more Demon Dean. I think it's kind of bullshit. We got a whole season of Soulless Sam, bless. But we only got like 2 episodes of Demon Dean. The fuck? What's up with that? Like, yeah, girl dinner. Oh my god, I forgot about girl dinner. Damn, I'm gonna miss TikTok. Like, oh, what don't I remember? I just don't remember like as many specific episodes as I do with other um seasons. I hate the fact that we didn't get more Sam and Eileen. They really kept the romance very minimal on this show. Very minimal. Like a speck. There was not really any romance on the show. Like whew. All my supernatural TikToks are on YouTube, and I mean, and they're still on TikTok too. I didn't hate Lisa and Dean, but it was hard to ever really like them because to me, Lisa and Dean were just tainted by the fact that Dean was only with her because Sam was gone and he made a promise to Sam. Like, I did hear there wasn't romance because like a lot of the fans, at least I heard that's why y'all told me that's why Joe and Dean never happened because the fans didn't like her, which is crazy. Joe was great. I did think Ben was his kid. I did. And I think Lisa probably didn't say anything because she probably she probably knew Dean could never be 100% in. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. I forgot about Bella. Bella was fun. I didn't ship her with anyone though. There was moments though where I was like, are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna kill each other? Kiss? Kill? Kill? Kiss? What's the vibe? I couldn't figure it out. Um I think that's so insane to watch a show of fictional people and fictional characters and a fictional universe and think, let me go message the actor playing the fictional character in the fictional universe and threaten their life. Huh? That's insane. That's insane. Even in my youth, I was never the type to and I was deep in fandoms. I was never the type to do that. Cause like it's not real. Like, right. And don't get me wrong, I love characters. I love characters like they're my like that's my family. Like I love like Steve Rogers. I love Steve Rogers. I love Steve Rogers down. I do. You can never make me hate Steve Rogers ever. Ever. But would you see me messaging the woman who played Peggy Carter something crazy? No. Cuz what? That don't make no sense. Like honestly, yeah, no, that's dumb. It's fucking stupid. Like that's the only fandom behavior I judge. I'm like, you need to go outside and touch some goddamn grass. Like, see, listen, I will never judge RPF because I'm a One Direction girly. I spent way too many years reading One Direction fan fiction. That's literally just RPF. You'll never get judgment from me on that. You'll never get judgment from me on that. Yeah, because that's all I was doing in my teenage years. So, but I do get why it creeps some people out. I get it. I get it. But I just, I'll never. It would be so hypocritical of me to judge that. It would be so hypocritical. Like real people fiction. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Was a good scene with Dean and Bella in the Texas. I did not really ship Meg and Castiel. I didn't. Um, I've I've never read RPF about actors who play fictional characters. Now that I think about it, I mean, I'm sure I have, but like that's never been like my cup of tea. Like only RPF would have been One Direction, and it was One Direction stuff that was so not real. Like, um, it probably feels worse if it's an actor. I mean, honestly, I don't know why it feels worse because it's quite literally the same thing as One Direction fan fiction, mindless behavior, Justin Bieber. Like it's all the same. It's all the same. So that's why I don't judge it. But like I can get if people don't like it. I get it. But I'm like, who would I be today if I was not reading on Wattpad at 13 that a girl got kidnapped by One Direction, you know, or her parents sold her to One Direction? Where would we be without that literature, you know? Yeah, like where would we be? My favorite funny moment, there is a scene in season 5 at the when they were at the convention where it was some scene at the convention and something that was said caught me so off guard. I laughed so hard I cried. I was on live for that episode too, and I cried. I was laughing so hard, like my stomach was hurting. It was so funny. Like, I can never read a YN. Listen, and that's okay if you didn't have a Wattpad. Listen, I've been on it all, from LiveJournal to fanfiction.net to Tumblr to Wattpad to AO3. I've been in the, I've seen it all. I'm sure there's some shit. I was on One Direction fanfiction.com. Like, wherever I could find a fic, I was there. So, like, so I get it. I will say Wattpad, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that scene. Castiel saying my favorite heaven is the one of the autistic man who drowned in the tub. That shit caught me so off guard. Was that a reference to something? Or was he just saying that? My favorite brother heart to heart moment. Croatoan. That wasn't one of their more emotional heart to hearts. He just said it. That's funny. Um um I want to say Croatoan. That wasn't the most emotional by far, but I think that was the first one because I was in season 2. That was the first moment where it was said so blatant, where Dean was like, "You touch my brother, you'll be dead before you hit the ground," or something like that. Um, Either that moment or Sam telling Dean, like Sam apologizing to Dean in season 8 towards when he was trying to do the trials. That was a good scene. Um, Dean talking over Sam's body when Sam died at the end of season 2. Oh god. Um this wasn't to Dean, but when Sam was telling Charlie that like he does not want to hunt without his brother, that was a really good scene to me. Uh Honestly, the scene where Dean died in episode 20. Like, I know I'm gonna rewatch the episode because I'm gonna want to rewatch that scene. Like, yeah, I re-downloaded Wattpad back in 2020. And I was like, there's ads on here? I know you out your mind. Who the fuck is paying for Wattpad? Like, listen, I'm not judging reading Wattpad. I'm not. Again, that would be really hypocritical of me. I think everyone needs to go through a Wattpad phase, like that level of reading. But it's not worth money. It's not. Like, I can never read the like self-insert ones, like the YN. I can't read those. Like, I think I tried and I was like, no. No, that's not for me. I love that, Mads. Like, like, oh yeah, that was a good episode. Right. I don't want to read my name. I don't. Like, I don't know why. That would just truly take me out of whatever I was reading. Like, if I see a book There was some like hockey romance I saw, and I like looked it up on Goodreads because I saw a TikTok of a girl talking about it. And one of the main characters' name was Alex. I was like, I can't read this shit. No. That will take me out of it. I cannot read my name like that. No. No, especially if I'm listening to it in an audiobook, jump scare. Jump scare if I hear someone say my name in an audiobook. No. I have not watched those bloopers. Yeah. Facts, sunflower. Like, that's the other reason. I'm like, but one thing about me, and this is probably more so now that I'm older, but when I'm reading my romance books or listening to my romance books, every single character is black. Every character, at least the woman, always black. If they say she is, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm like, okay, so she has a 6'13" bust down middle part and some contacts. Oh, she has fair skin. Okay, cool. So it's the winter months and she's a bit lighter. Like everyone's black. That's just how I picture it. Like it's so rare for me to actually picture them not being black unless there's unless there's like a specific cultural aspect of the character. Like there's a character, I forget what book it was, but there's a character who was, I want to say she was Japanese. Was she Japanese? Yeah, she was Japanese. And there was something very specific that like her family did that was Japanese culture. And I was like, okay, like she's Japanese. But if it's just a woman, an American woman, she's black. She's black. She looked just like me. Like, yeah, but I really only do that for like the main character woman. Like in Fourth Wing, yeah, Violet's black in my head. Yeah, like shit, she's flying a dragon. Who gives a fuck? Um, I haven't seen From. Yeah, like I think the book where I was reading, where the main character was called Alex, it was like a MM romance. So it wasn't even a woman, but I was like, I just don't want to hear my name like that. No. When Jared had to be on top of Misha and kept messing the takes to mess with Misha more. What scene did Jared have to be on top of Misha? And I totally get that, Desiree. Or Desiree. Desiree. Did I say that right? Or which way is the right way? Um, but yeah, I totally get that. But that's also probably the reason why I read so much like MM romance, because I'm like, then I don't even have to worry about what the woman looks like. Like also, I have found I read more MM romance books because like a lot of the whenever it's like a straight romance, it's hard for me to find a plot that isn't boring. It's either boring or on the very extreme. And I'm like, I don't want to read about a cannibal, but I also don't want to read a small town romance. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare. Like I have like a good few books that meet in the middle enough where it's edgy enough to keep my interest, but not so fucking dark where I feel like I need to drink some holy water. You know what I mean? But the MM romances that I see are just a bit more, they hit that middle ground a bit more frequently, at least that I see. Okay, Ray. Or no, Ray. Ray. Jesus, I'm sorry, I couldn't see. Of course. Of course I had to ask. I like to make sure I'm saying people's names right. Um, I did like Bella. I mean, I liked her in the sense that, like, I didn't hate her. Yeah. She's a character I haven't thought about in a while. Oh, the okay, where he was set back in time. Okay. He kissed him in the blooper. Like, that's funny. Right. Okay, Mads, I'm happy you bring that up because I vividly remember when I heard him say Colorado, I had to hit pause and I was like, where is he from? Because that's not how you say that. Like, where is Misha from? Because yeah, the way he's like Colorado or something. Is he from like Minnesota? Like the way he said it, I remember pausing it and being like, where's he from? Like, oh, he's from Massachusetts. Okay. Like, Misha isn't his real name? What's his name? Yes, cough drop. Like, they just seem a bit, yeah, I just feel like they kind of lack depth a little bit. Like, there are some that do, but like, I don't want to read something that's super sad. I don't want to read anything with like a surprise pregnancy. Oh, nothing pisses me off more than the pregnancy trope. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I read a 13-book series, the longest series I've ever read this year or 2024. And first book, great, loved it. Second book, good. All the books and couples I loved until we got to literally the last couple in the series, so the last 2 or 3 books. I hated them so much. And then the girl got pregnant. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I couldn't finish the series. I couldn't finish the series. And I was so fucking mad because I was so hyped to say I accomplished, like, I think the series is like 15 or 16 books. So I was like, oh, I can say I read a 16-book series. Like, yay. No, I had to DNF it. I was like, because now you pissed me off. You pissed me off. His name's Dmitry Tippins Krushnik. How the fuck did he get Misha? Where did Misha come from? There's not even what? Where did that come from? Dimitri's a cool name. I feel like he can pull off Dimitri. He could be a Dimitri. Got it. Okay. You know what? That kind of makes more sense because I did always think Misha was a bit of an odd name. I figured it was short for something. Like, got it. Like, I feel like he could pull off a Dimitri. If Castiel was like ever evil, he could have been named Dimitri. Like Dimitri just has like an edge to it. Like it's almost like a Damon, you know? Like it has a little spice to it. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Yes, exactly. Dean said the same thing. What kind of name is Misha? That's funny. Yeah. I when I start rewatching the show, I would definitely let y'all know. Um, because I'm sure I'll have different opinions, especially on like the first 4 or 5 seasons. Um, Cause dead ass, that feels like so long ago. It was summer when I watched the first 4 seasons. Summer. I have recovered. Um, I have recovered. It does genuinely still hurt to think about. I think that's one of the reasons why I can't read any like fics about it, because I'm just like, like, I also just have to like, I'm gonna have to do like a deep dive and just like figure out all the, because there's always like a slight variation in tags depending on like what fandom you're in and all of that. So just like figuring that out is gonna be interesting. And yeah, and just figuring out like what plots, because yeah, like I'm not, again, like I'm not opposed to Destiel. Like it's not a hard no. I'd even be willing to read. Honestly, when I first went on AO3 to look, I just organized it by like what had the most hits. Like let's start with the heavy hitters, you know? And I think like the first few are like all AUs. And then they were very heavily Destiel. And I was like, I don't really want to read that. Like, I'm okay with Destiel, but like, I gotta have, you know, my man Sam in there somewhere, you know, like it can't just be about them. Like, so I'm just have to figure it out. You gotta keep going, boo boo cat. Like, you gotta keep going. Oh, absolutely, Mads. I already know I'm gonna like um pick up on so many things when I rewatch it. Really? You think watching it with me in the group was harder than the first time? I love Bobby. I love Bobby, and Bobby, he wasn't just the stepfather, he was the father that stepped up. You know? Like, yeah. Now, I would have loved to see Bobby and John interact more. I don't know how it could have happened, maybe in flashbacks. I don't know, but I would have been interested to see that dynamic, because how did Bobby know them? Like, did he know them through Mary, or did he like, how was Bobby introduced to the Winchesters? Like, was it through Mary or was it through John? Like, because I know Mary's family were the Hunters. Okay, it was through John. Okay. 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 Then yeah, I would be very interested to see how uh oops. I would be very interested I would be very interested to see like how they interact. Um because yeah, I would be very interested to see how they react. Um I'm glad you enjoyed it, Allie Mac. Oh, I was gonna say Allie Mae, Allie Mac. Um I do remember that. I do remember that like it was implied that John and Bobby had a fight and didn't speak for a while. Yeah, I would be just interested to get more insight into how Bobby viewed John, because I don't know, I just think that dynamic would be interesting. I love that. Mm. If I could pick like an episode plot, oh my god. Oh. Um like if I could have any like just a plot line that could have happened or expanded on more, Hmm. I don't know. Um. Oh, I'm happy you finished it, Claudia. um. I could see that, Mads. Um. Mads said a what if episode, and that can be their way of bringing back the show without contradicting themselves. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do think I'll pick one thing I am excited to rewatch is the whole storyline of the police being after them. Cause that was good. That was good. That was a great little, yeah. What if John died and not Mary? Oh, wake it up. That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. Like Sam's powers before he started drinking the demon blood. Yeah. What if Sam went to hell in season 3 instead of Dean? That would have been interesting. Like, I wonder how that would have changed things. What if Dean went to college and not Sam? Or what if Sam never went to college and they were together the whole time? I It's hard to say if I think Mary would have been a good mother if John had died. Um, I almost want to say she might have been worse than John simply because she would have known immediately what happened. Like, because she was already part of hunting and it was her deal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess it would depend on what caused John to die. I would have loved to see Adam join them. I would have loved if Adam was in the show more. I love Charlie. Thanks, Josh. I would have loved to see Sam save Dean from hell. Because let me tell you, one of the things I noticed with the show with Sam and Dean uh, was that like they rarely ever called out for help. They only ever called out for each other. They were the best brothers ever. Like when one of them was in trouble, it was never help me, help me. It was always Sam or Dean. Like, ugh. Mm-mm-mm. If Cass was God the entire time and cosplaying as a nerd, that would have been crazy. She was a good mom in the Jen episode, but that was also when they were kids. Like, hmm. I would have loved to see. I do wish we could have saw more of Dean and Hell and Sam, Michael slash Adam and Lucifer in the cage. Like, I wish we could have saw more of that. Not like a lot of episodes or anything, but we got a lot of episodes and a lot of scenes where they were in hell, whether it was Crowley or Lucifer or Rowena, whoever. Um, because I think we could have had some great scenes. I would have loved to see the scene where Dean finally decides to torture souls because he can't take it anymore. I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see an episode about that. And I don't know. I just would have loved to see what it looks like to like because when Lucifer was talking to Sam, like through his head in like season 7 or whatever. I feel like that could have been interesting to see, like in the cage. Because like I like that we got a good amount of purgatory. Or what if Dean was the soulless one? Like, if Dean had come back soulless, Dean would have been a menace soulless. Oh, he would have been a menace. Because Dean already represses all his emotions anyway. Like, when you say, wait, who was SA'd? I don't remember that. By Lucifer. Oh my gosh, I don't remember that. I don't really remember much though of like they just said like they tortured his soul, like stripped his soul. What? Oh my god. No, I'm not going to delete them. They're going to stay. Oh. Okay, maybe when I rewatch, I may pick up on it. Ooh. Jinkies. All right. Well, in that case, I take back my comments about the cage. And about hell. The only thing I would have wanted to see in hell was Dean breaking the first seal or the second seal, whatever seal. Because when he decided to torture, that was when he broke a seal. So, okay, it was the first, yeah. Like, I didn't even think about that. Again, maybe when I rewatch it, I may pick up on it. I was just thinking they was getting beat up, like punches type thing. But yeah, I mean that would make sense. I mean, it's quite literally the devil, so and a demon. Can't really expect anything less. Um damn, that's crazy. Wow, that like really went over my head. I feel like when I rewatch the show, it's gonna be like rewatching it for the first time. Cause like Criminal Minds, I've seen Criminal Minds so many times it's not even funny. But still when I rewatch it, I catch something new every time. Like, how much of a waste was Eve? I'm gonna say a lot because I don't remember who Eve was. Who was Eve? Like, oh, the mother of monsters. Yes, I forgot about her. They didn't even show her when Dean and Sam went back into purgatory. They referenced her that she was there, but they didn't show her. Yeah, she was a waste now that you mention it because I really thought she was gonna give like Mother of Dragons because she was the mother of monsters. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. But no, she didn't really give much. Not at all. Like I have not finished the newer seasons of Criminal Minds, but I have liked what I was doing. The BAU chasing Sam and Dean, oh, that would have been hilarious. I feel like I feel like Reed's head would explode finding out about that stuff. Like, really? I need to get into it. I do. I know it's good. I know it's good because I love Criminal Minds. Like, I love Criminal Minds. Oh, I'm sure that exists. A Criminal Minds and Supernatural crossover. Yeah. Cass teaming up with Crowley. That was a good plot line. But again, I season 7 cast kind of irritated me. Like, yeah. Oh my god, how do you like 911? How do you like it? It's so good. It's so good. Oh, you're gonna love it. It's so good. You know who I could not stand on that show other than Mary? Megatron. I didn't like her at all. Him. I didn't like him. Like, um, oh my god, season 3 starts off so well. Um, like the character, I did not like him. He was so annoying to me. Um, he will always be Megatron, like because at this point, honestly, that's probably disrespectful to Megatron because Megatron was at least interesting. Um, like 911 is so good. Ugh. Chimney and Buck are like my two favorite characters. I love them. Yeah, like he was definitely supposed to be like the obnoxious, like know it all. But I was like, ugh, every time he would talk, I would be like, can someone just punch him in the face, please? Like, yeah, I just watched Chimney Begins the other day. He's such a good actor. Such a good actor. I think him and Angela Bassett are the two best actors on that show, for sure. Kenneth, I can't think of his last name, but him and Angela Bassett are the two best actors on that show to me. Bye. Have a good night. Actually, y'all, I actually need to go to bed too because it's 10:45 and I signed up to like do something back when I had energy and when I thought it was a good idea and I already paid and now I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't. I just don't want to do it. But I'm like, I told myself I would be more social. 3 hours. Um, like I love Buck. Honestly, I love Angela Bassett like with my whole heart, but I hate her character. I cannot stand Athena. Like at first, I liked her, and then that one episode where the cop pulled over her family and she didn't defend her family really, I was like, okay. So then I was kind of like indifferent towards her, but I still liked her and Bobby. And then there were just other little moments where I was like, who is writing this fucking character? And then after this past season, I was like, enough. She's got to go. Like, have her retire. and do something else. She's doing too much. Um, but yeah, my favorite characters definitely Buck. Probably Buck and Chim. But I also love Hen and Maddie. I also like Bobby and Eddie. Like I really just love all the characters. Like it's one of the few shows where I'm interested in all the characters, all their storylines. Right, Ashley, exactly. Like, right, I'm gonna post a video. Literally, I told myself in 2025 I would be more social. But at what cost? Like that sounds like such a good idea. And then you actually have to be social. And then it's like, ugh, I don't want to do that. I could be in bed. Like, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Ugh. It is. I'm gonna tell you now, I don't really use Instagram. I never have. Um, if the TikTok ban goes through, I'll be most active on YouTube and Blue Sky. Um, yeah. I don't know when my next live is. I another like scheduled live like this probably isn't gonna happen before Sunday. So this is probably the last like long one that I have. If TikTok gets banned, we'll never know. Um, if TikTok isn't banned, shit, I'll probably be live Sunday then. Like, who knows? Who knows? But I'll go live on YouTube though, for sure. And I'll schedule those. I usually make a post about it beforehand. Yeah, on like the little community tab. Right? Like, oh, I don't even know what I'm gonna wear. What the fuck do you wear to go bowling? Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna have fun. Like, I don't even fucking like bowling either. I don't. But I love the food at bowling alleys. That was the main motivator for me to go. Bowling alleys have good food. And uh I told myself I would just go out more. So I've been telling myself I'd do that for like years, but I'm like, okay, now I actually have to do it. I have to do it. So yeah, I'll probably just wear jeans and a sweater, honestly, because like it's cold. Like, I have seen Game of Thrones. I binged 7 seasons of Game of Thrones in 6 days. That did a lot of damage to my brain up there. Like, if I would have binged Supernatural in like 2 weeks, which I definitely could have, but didn't, I could have finished Supernatural in probably less than a month if I really locked in. If I really locked in, yeah, for sure. Um, I genuinely fear what that would have done to my mental. Um, yeah, I did it in 6 days because I had to use the free trial. I was in college and I wasn't spending money on an HBO subscription. Yeah. Rob's death or Dean's? Ooh. That's a good question. I kind of want to say Rob's death because with Rob's death came so many other deaths, and Arya was so close to getting back to her brother. I would say Rob and the little boy, Rickon, like like Yeah. But okay, guys, I really do have to go to sleep now because it's like 4 till 11. Oh, and I have to wake up early to give Charlie his medicine. Ugh, my elbow just popped. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey of Supernatural. When I rewatch the show, I will absolutely let the whole world know, and I'll post any new takes I have. Um, but yeah, it's been fun. I'll post tonight, honestly, because we only got so much time with TikTok left to figure out take suggestions for my next show. Um, I don't know when the next live will be. It I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'll keep reposting edits. Oh, actually, what I wanted to show you guys real quick. Oh my god, a Dalmatian. Oh, that's cute. Um, oops. What was I trying to do? Literally, look at all. Okay, you can kind of see. I'm trying to hold it so both. Look at all these mentions. These are just edits. Like, this is literally just y'all tagging me in edits. There's no way I'm going to get through all of them. So if I don't see your edit, I'm so sorry. But feel free to keep tagging me because honestly, I'm just selecting them randomly at this point. Like, let's just pick a random one. Oh, fuck, that's a person. Okay, let's.
And I love you, because I care.
Oh.
Not just a mom. You are not a child.
That line, Mary saying, "You are not, I'm not just a mother, and you're not a child." And Dean saying, "I never was." And him saying, "I had to be a mother and a father and a brother." Child, they could never make me like you, Mary Winchester. Could never. Like, okay, I gotta go to sleep because I'm literally about to start falling asleep now and go delirious. And I need to have energy for tomorrow. Like, oh God, I don't want to go. It's okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be extroverted and I'm gonna have fun. Okay. On that note, goodbye. Um, feel free to post on my YouTube. I made a post asking for suggestions for TV shows. Um, I may just put up a poll because I've gotten a lot of the same suggestions and just ask people to vote. That may be easier. But all right, guys, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna log off of TikTok first. Thank you. Bye, guys. Jesus, that's bright. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.